as is our way coming in to this sacred space on a Sunday morning. May I invite everyone to simply take a pausing breath. Breathe in and receive all of the gift of life, exhaling slowly to release everything so that we give the opportunity to Spirit to begin again with each breath. And from that place, it is my privilege and my pleasure to say, Happy Mother's Day, beautiful people! It is my great joy that we have gifts of creativity and deep wisdom from several unexpected sources today. And so first, I have an offering that comes actually from our sister community, the Graham Center and Reverend Jane Burnett. This I discovered on our Saturday morning discussion call, and I was so thrilled. I said, oh my goodness, Reverend Jane, I need that. This is what Reverend Jane has to say about Mother's Day. For most of us, Mother's Day is about brunch and flowers and saying thank you to the women who gave us birth, changed our diapers, and kissed our skin knees. This is a beautiful thing, but it is only the surface of the importance it represents. In Science of Mind, we learn that mother is the feminine aspect of God. It is the receiving, nurturing, loving intelligence. It says yes to every idea that the divine masculine conceives. Mother is the law that turns thought into form. Mother is the womb of creation itself. So when we honor our mothers today, we're actually honoring the divine principle that is within them and within every single one of us. Every being has within them the potential and capacity to nurture someone or something else with maternal qualities of care and love. It is in that atmosphere that we welcome you on this Sunday, May the 10th, 2026. Happy Mother's Day. Louisville Center for Spiritual Living welcomes you to this Mother's Day service, honoring all who have maternal love to give and all who are seeing a little motherly love. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome your challenges and your questions. All pieces and paths of spirit, all areas of life, and all parts of ourselves are essential to a world that works for all beings. So whether you're here with us for the first time, yay, or if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you have been with us since the beginning, we thank you for being with us today because you are why we are here. Now, today is our second week in the theme for May, Divine Doubt. And the topic for today is debuting the doubting self. last week, when we got that in the announcements for this coming week, I realized that not many people ever use the word debuting, much less see it in writing. So if you look at it and you're not sure exactly what it is on spec, it comes out as debuting. So when we get to it, we're definitely going to look at just exactly what debuting means, particularly within this case. Now, taking all of our motherly instincts and our motherly honoring and divine doubt into prayer, let us wrap our intentions around everyone who's seeking right now. And take a moment for yourselves. Take a moment, take that pausing breath, settle down, check in, and ask yourself, what brought me to be here today? And it's from that space and in gratitude paid forward that I recognize one life, one love, one infinite and everlasting creative process that is forever forming and informing. And as the one is all I am. As the one is all, it is all of each person within the sound of my voice right here and right now, and of the community of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living as an entity. One in omnipresence, omniscient intelligence, and omnipotent empowerment right here and right now. And so I know and declare that in this moment, within this message, as we embrace the human quality of doubt, that the reality of the gift within the doubt and the doubting emerges, so that we come to understand individually and collectively not to resist this very interesting and very colorful topic, this very interesting and very colorful tendency that we have tended to shy away from, particularly within this spiritual path. And so I bless it, and I know that the gifts are given and received. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. I release it, I let it be, and so it is. And now, for our first creative gift that I spoke of for the day, Miss Melba Harris is here. And it's so exciting, you guys, because as you know, she has sung for us many times before. Today, however, she's expanding into singing 2 songs for us. And the first song is Awake and Alive. And it's just so exciting because it really speaks to everything we're doing and everything she has achieved. And so I turn it over to Melba.
Thank you, Reverend Vicky. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to ask you all to sing with me on the chorus, and I shall sing the verses. And the words to the chorus are, I am awake, I am alive, and I do more than just survive. I'm living proof of God's love everlasting. I am sure and I am strong, and I know that I belong. And through unity with you, my soul's awake and alive. And it goes like this. I am awake, I am alive, and I do more than just survive. I'm living proof of God's love everlasting. I am sure, I am strong, and I know that I belong. Through unity with you, my soul's awake and alive. Let's try. I am awake, I am alive, and I do more than just survive. I'm living proof of God's love day God said, here you go. There's so much I want you to do with all these talents that make you uniquely you. And every day you have another chance to be the one expression of my love some hearts might ever see. I am awake, I am alive, and I do more than just survive. I'm living proof of God's love everlasting. I am sure, I am strong, and I know that I belong. Through unity with you, my soul's awake and alive. Sometimes I might feel like I don't have as much to share, but when I'm comparing, it feels like a separation there. So if you think that being gifted is only for a chosen few, then wake up and acknowledge the divine soul that is you. I am awake, I am alive, and I do more than just survive. I'm living proof of God's love everlasting. I am sure, I am strong, and I know that I belong. Through unity with you, my soul's awake and alive. Once more. I am awake, I am alive, and I do more than just survive. I'm living proof of God's love everlasting. I am sure, I am strong, and I know that I belong. Through unity with you, my soul's awake and alive. Through unity with you, my soul's awake and alive. Through unity with you, my soul's awake and alive.
Well, Melba, thank you so much. I was having so much fun singing with you as you were strumming and singing.
Thank you.
I feel inspired. Thank you. And now it's time for our announcements. The Magic of the Soul, Applying Spiritual Power to Daily Living, which is a book by Patrick Harbula. And Reverend Vicky, would you like to talk about this book study we're going to be having?
Thank you, Tammy. As we were just talking a little bit prior to the start of service, this book study starts next Saturday, the 16th. It is from 12:30 to 1:30 Eastern Time on this Zoom. We're going to be sharing the book together on Audible. So we'll be listening to the pieces that we talk about on the days of the book study. I do recommend getting the book because we won't be able to cover the whole book within 7 weeks. It is a fabulous resource for getting to know your individual soul as is integrated with universal soul, which is a piece of our teaching that I have known for a long time that I would have liked to have seen some emphasis on, and here it is, and it is absolutely fabulous. And so also I'm interested in knowing who will be coming to study group, just for planning purposes as I'm looking at how to orchestrate it. And other than that, I look forward to seeing you all on the 16th.
Thank you. And our speaker Sunday, May 17th, will be our wonderful Reverend Carolyn Harville. And the theme will be Divine Doubt, Carrying Our Doubt Together. And I turn it back over to you, Reverend Vicky, for a financial update.
So our financial update for this week, as you all know, our general monthly budget is $2,550. So far, as of May 9th, we have received $846.76. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. We are gratefully accepting $1,703.24 by the 31st of May. And I encourage all of you, when you think about your community and the entity that is LCSL, just absolutely know that we are grounded in the mental equivalent of abundance that sources this community effortlessly. This is not a problem for spirit. And so coming to the place where we're able to meet our budget regularly, which we have done for January through April, we absolutely can do this. And it can be done easily. So just continue to know with me that we receive by expected and unexpected means, and that this is easy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God.
And please stay for our sharing time after the benediction, after the closing prayer. If you'd like to just join in and tell us what's going on with you, or just share in some fellowship together.
And this brings us to the declaration of our purpose and our mission and our vision and our application for the week. And we begin with our purpose. I invite you all to say this with me if you choose. The purpose of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to be a vital hub of beloved community. We learn and practice care and creativity for the gift of life as vessels of oneness, a synergy of spirit, soul, mind, and body for all beings. Our mission and vision within that purpose is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God, which manifests our vision of a world that honors and respects all people. Now, for this week, the application of what we believe is, when I find that I immediately disagree with someone or something, I ask myself, why? Then I follow that feeling to the heart of the matter. And with that, it is my great pleasure to turn this back over to Miss Tammy, who is our practitioner of the week.
Good morning again, everybody. It is my honor to be your practitioner of the week. And today we're going to have a beautiful sacred reading. Give me 1 second, take a sip of water. This reading today is from our Centers for Spiritual Living monthly booklet. The reading is by Diana Ensign, J.D. Mother's Day Love. You carry Mother Earth within you. She is not outside of you. Mother Earth is not just your environment. That was by Thich Nhat Hanh. Today, I know that the healing presence of life is within me, forever restoring my mind and body, by Ernest Holmes. And the reading by Diana Ensign. We all owe our birth to our mothers, who we celebrate on Mother's Day. Nowadays, we recognize that Mother's Day celebrations are not just for honoring biological mothers, but also include the contributions of the nurturing individuals who served in caretaking roles in our lives. We might also consider that we owe our existence to Mother Earth, who birthed all life on this beautiful planet. Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "Earth is our mother, nourishing and protecting us in every moment, giving us air to breathe, fresh water to drink, food to eat, and healing herbs to cure us when we are sick." Today, we celebrate and honor mothers of all kinds. Some of us are mothers of human beings. Some of us are grandmothers, stepmothers, mothers of animals, bees, bunnies, dogs, cats, all kinds of lovely animals, horses, zookeepers, all kind of wonderful love, maternal love is just all the way around the world. For some of us, however, Mother's Day is a day of sorrow. We may feel sad if our relationship with our mother or with our child is strained. We may feel heartbroken if our mother or our child is no longer with us on this physical plane. We might also be mourning Mother Earth's plight as we witness the destruction of our environment. If this is not a day of celebration for you, be kind and gentle to yourself. Know that restorative healing is possible. Practice breath awareness. Perhaps take a walk or sit near a tree. When we breathe with mindfulness, Thich Nhat Hanh states, we can experience our interbeing with the Earth's delicate atmosphere, with all the plants and even with the sun, whose light makes possible the miracle of photosynthesis, to have all our beautiful plants and flowers. With every breath, we can experience communion with one another. With every breath, we can savor the wonders of life. Let's take a nice few deep breaths in and out together, just breathing in what resonated for you, and we're letting go of the rest. Just breathing in, letting your belly come out, your lungs fill, and then just release. A couple more breaths together. And as you continue to breathe in and out, I'm going to read a few statements for contemplation for you. Breathing in, I fill myself with peace and love. Breathing out, I appreciate life's wonders. Breathing in, I fill myself with peace and love. Breathing out, I appreciate life's wonders. And now as you breathe in and out continuously, if you'd like to bring to mind anyone who has shared maternal love with you in your life, and just send them appreciation, love, flowers, energetically, whatever you would like to send to anyone who's giving you or has given you beautiful maternal love. Just take a few moments now to send them appreciation. Now, with another nice deep breath in and out, I am supported by love. I allow myself to receive and give love. I am supported by spirit. I am supported right where I am now. And another nice deep breath in and out. With each breath in, I fill and feel heart love. I feel love filling my heart. As my heart continues to fill with love with each breath in and out each day, I also am willing to share my love and kindness with others. I breathe in love, keep what I need, and continuously share it with others, like a beautiful wheel of giving and receiving. And now with another nice deep breath in, just coming into feeling your body, moving your fingers and toes perhaps, just enjoying feeling that love and peace within you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes if they're closed to the beautiful Zoom boxes and the beautiful people right here all together. And so it is. Please enjoy our special music by Melba Harris again, and this song is called Mama.
On this Mother's Day, I am sharing with you a song I began writing many years ago to honor my mother, and just last year I put the finishing touches on it. I want you to know something about her. I am proud to say that my beautiful mom, Betty Jo Harris, was a church musician. She served as pianist for her church in Georgia for 52 years before retiring in 2002. It wasn't until after Mom's passing in 2018 that I began to realize how much she had modeled for me and for my siblings what it means to be a dedicated musician and to be a dedicated professional and to use your God-given gifts to the best of your abilities. She was skilled in many musical genres. Her specialty was playing what is known as Southern Gospel. That's a musical style that is not easy to play. I'm a guitarist, not a pianist, but I know that. It is often very syncopated and requires a lot of filling in the gaps between the notes on the page. So thanks, Mom, for being the finest musician I've ever known. And with all of our ups and downs, thanks for being my mother. I thank God for you, and this is for you. I knew one day the time would come, if I lived long enough, when I'd say goodbye to Mama, who's gone back to the light of love. Your journey here is over, no more stress or pain. I'm sure our loss is the angel's gain. Mama, I will love you today. I'll just find some other way, like be kind to a child or help someone who's down. And in my heart you'll always be around. You had the gift of music, and lots of people know it's true. that no one in this world could play those old gospel songs like you. With Daddy's sense of humor, though wicked it could be, you both brought the musician out in me. Mama, I will love you today. I'll just find some other way, like be kind to a child or help someone who's down. And in my heart you'll always be around. With greeting cards and phone calls and visiting to show you care. You also showed your love with great home cooking you were glad to share. Like your chocolate cake to die for, eat enough and we probably would. I'm not kidding, it was that good. Mama, I will love you today. I'll just find some other way, like be kind to a child or help someone who's down. And in my heart you'll always be around. We know there were some things we did not see eye to eye. And God knows there were days when we made each other cry. When the hope of forgiveness seemed so far away, I'm glad we tried forgiving anyway. Mama, I will love you today. I'll just find some other way, like be kind to a child or help someone who's down. And in my heart you'll always be around. Mama, I will remember you today. I'm still breathing, so you must have shown me the way. This girl you once knew is a grown-up now. And in my heart you'll always be around. In my heart you'll always be around. Yes, in my heart is where you'll be found. Mama, I love you. Thank you.
Just taking a moment to allow each of us to find that place for our mothers. Thank you so much, Melba. What a profound foundation to then shift into debuting the doubting self. Go ahead and take the slide down, Vernon. As Melba and I were talking about how this could go, I absolutely knew that the atmosphere this would bring would be perfect for today. And I'm so, so incredibly grateful. So, as I was saying in opening service, it occurs to me that the first thing we need to do is see about this word debuting. If you think about it, when we've heard that there's going to be the debut of a movie or the debut of a new artist of some kind. We get that, that's leading edge. It's out there. It's generally, in my experience, it's artistic. And if I could take a poll right now, maybe I will during sharing time, be interesting to me if anyone has heard the term debuting in almost any other context but that. So the question becomes, what could possibly be the benefit of debuting our doubting self? And actually, as a play on words, when I really began to embrace this, I started to get the point that the minister who wrote this was making, because this whole field really is, this field of doubt, it truly, truly is a hidden resource. And we have not been looking at it that way. And in that regard, once you start to catch on to the wind, that it is actually a huge resource that we have not been availing ourselves of, generally individually. I mean, I can't speak for other people, but generally, I think it's pretty safe to say, collectively, humanity has not been making a resource out of doubt. And so that's one of the things that is the point of this. Is last week we talked about getting at least familiar with our individual doubts, which tend to run, somewhat unconscious, unless we're the type of person that just knows we're a doubting person, like a doubting Thomas or something. Then it's a little out there. But even then, people tend to have this edge that says, oh, I'm a doubter, but I know I shouldn't be. And really and truly, it doesn't have to be that way. One of the points that was made, and I thought this was very interesting, I was not able to capture this quote. It's a quote I saw on a news feed that I trust. It's a well-established news feed, and they tend to put quotes in the written portions. They tend to put quotes at the bottom too. And there was a quote about the power of doubt in this news feed thing. I was like, whoa, I got to catch that, because what it said is that rather than disregarding our doubts, to realize that on a human level, when we are open to feeling our doubts and getting to know them and allowing them voice, like, what's causing me to doubt this? It allows for looking at the whole board of something. And that is something that, in my experience, I find myself saying to people quite a bit in support of getting through a process. There are things we're very clear about, like we tend to be very clear about what we don't want, and then we become aware we need to be clear about what we do actually want, and that's one thing. But then between those two, there tend to be pretty large gaps a lot of times that are disconnecting what we do and don't want. They're not really closely related enough to see how dot A relates to dot B, and etc. And that's part of actually what a practitioner session is for, is how to get that alignment between where we are now, which is sometimes in what we don't want. How do we move it into what we do want? So we even know what to declare in prayer. And the thing is that when we have not been paying attention to where our doubts reside, there's a whole lots of ways that we're missing in consciousness what those gaps are in consciousness. And so if we can allow our doubts voice without making them wrong on a human level, then it can be revealed. Oh, as I know last week in Katrina's reading and meditation, she was highlighting how closely related doubt tends to be to fear. And that's one of the reasons why we tend to avoid doubt. So one of the things I want to offer today around the idea of how we get comfortable working with this collectively is that debuting our doubting selves and allowing a spotlight to be shown when we are doubting something, when we want to move ahead with something that's new, or when we need to work through something that needs to be done differently because it's not going well. We need to be able to have the courage to let people know that we have this doubt. And I'm just thinking about this now, you guys, so I wasn't going to give this example, but this is a lot of fun. You know, when Reverend Carolyn, who originally came from the center in Texas that she and I served together, she went into ministerial school long before I did. And while she was finding her way to saying, wow, I'm going to move from being a practitioner into being a minister, it was a pretty sure. So by the time I moved from Texas into Kentucky, she was well on her way being through ministerial school. And a lot of things came together really decisively into how she ended up coming to be our founding minister. It was fabulous. And we had worked together, so there was a lot of synergy, and it seemed like, man, we're just going to move right on through this. And then the thing to understand is one of the steps she had to take is she had to basically sell all the structures of her whole physical life in Texas. She sold her house. I think they sold a car. She had to have this conversation with beloved Bob and say, you know, honey, let's go to Kentucky, okay? And so all this huge change was going on. And I woke up one morning in a load of doubt. And I was like, oh my God, I have just inspired two whole people to like surrender their lives and move everything to this whole other state. I have no guarantee how this is going to work out. And so I called Carolyn one morning and I was just like, oh, you know, have you put your house on the market yet? Have you done anything that's going to be a deal breaker? And she listened to me for about 5 minutes and I'm just pouring out all this. And she's like, Vicky, what in the world has happened? What are you afraid of? And we got through it, you know. But if I had not had the courage to tell her that I had just moved through this huge wave of doubt, who knows how that would have impacted my system in not being able to drop back into conviction about what we were doing. And so you guys can ask her sometime. The way she remembers that might be different than the way I remember it. But it was a moment. And the thing that's important about that is when we talk about honoring our human doubts, at the same time, there is this practicing of the conviction of faith spiritually. The interesting paradox about that is that our spiritual conviction of faith is in the unseen. We don't see, with our physical senses, we don't see the working of spirit. And that's why we always say there's so much more going on underneath what we can see. And having conviction spiritually can be happening at the same time that we're honoring our human doubts. And so that's about all I can say about that right here. But I invite you to really consider that, like moving back into remembering both and rather than either or. It doesn't have to be either I'm doubting or I'm in faith. You can be in the conviction of space and the conviction of faith and consciousness and spirit, and at the same time really in conversation with your human doubts and finding out what they need. And we can do that together. So I have an example here for you. Just a moment. Don't quite play it yet, Vernon. One of the important things about this, and I think we're going to be talking more about this in the next week or two, is how our tendency to allow our doubts to not even show us where there are gaps translates into human experiences where there's all kinds of gaps. And then something doesn't come together right. And individually, everyone stands back and says, what happened? I thought we had it. And then suddenly we didn't have it. What's going on? Okay, and you'll see this when you see this little clip. This is from Dr. Raymond Anderson, who, if you all will remember for just a moment, him speaking for us, and this comes from one of the talks that he did for us. And so go ahead now and play the clip, Vernon.
There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. Say what now? So rather than saying it is this person's fault or that person's fault because we are not living in a world that works for all, be the somebody, be the anybody who is embodying the divine, and then let your consciousness be the infectious fire that sets ablaze the hearts, the minds, and the souls of every person you come in contact with.
And for any of you who have ever heard me say that either I've been sent to the principal's office or one of us is being sent to the principal's office, Dr. Ray is the principal. If we come off of our game in just exactly what we're doing here. Now, the example I want to give you very quickly of how just exactly what he was saying played out in an experience I had is when I worked for the steamship line. I don't know if I've talked to you guys about that very much, but when I was very young, before I worked for the airline, I worked for an international steamship company, and I was a container tracker. If you've ever seen big trucks, and instead of being one unit as a truck, they actually have like a container on it, and it tends to have letters on it like NICU or CLCU, and that U on the end stands for unit, and then there'll be a number, and that's that container that says who that belongs to and what the number for tracking it is. And I used to track those all around the world. And one day I was at work, and I have these bills of lading and these purchase orders and stuff that I track all these things by, and I started to recognize that there were a set of orders that seemed to be scattered. Like a batch of orders should be consistent. Like if it's going to Thailand or if it's going to Bangkok. Bangkok is Thailand, but anyway, just all over the world these places go, and once you have a batch of things, it should be coming and going, to the same place. And there were errors there. I knew there were errors, and it scared me because I had been working this batch for some time before I discovered that they weren't all lined up going to the same place they were supposed to. And I had to get the courage to tell my boss about this. And I'm thinking, oh my God. In one way, I hope I'm right. And in one way, I hope I'm wrong, because this is just not good. And so I handed it over to him, and it took about an hour and a half for him to be sure. And he made some phone calls. And after that, he had his door closed. He went off. He was yelling at the stevedore at the steamship company, and he was yelling at the truckers, and he was yelling at a few more people, consignees and stuff. And as it turned out, there had been errors made in this huge thing It was a huge order. There had been errors made all along the way. It was all supposed to go to one place. And because of more than one error that happened, this order had been ultimately filed in to 3 or 4 different destinations. The problem is that those containers, they get stacked in layers on the ship, and the stacking of the layers had already started. When I turn those suckers in and I say, okay, this is where it goes on the boat, I mean, they're taking these great big cranes and they're taking these containers and they're loading them. And they had to unstack about 3 layers of those containers to get to the ones that were going to the wrong place to then put them on the right ship. And oh my gosh, I didn't know if I might be going to get fired because I didn't know it wasn't all my fault. It's like, and so the point is that at any time along the way, other people probably notice that. The people loading the things onto the ship probably notice that, but it's having the courage to be able to say, man, I'm doubting that this is right. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just one example how when we have a sense that something's out of alignment, or when we have a sense of something that really needs to be done in order for something to go well, but no one wants to be the one that rocks the boat. No one wants to be the one that says, this doesn't feel right to me, I'm not sure. And so part of what we're being invited to do is trust that instinct and debut our doubt. Shine the light on it and say, hey, this is how this feels to me. Is there anyone else that's already also feeling this kind of uncomfortable? And with that, it is time to pray. And so, with great gratitude for the opportunity for the maternal, for the opportunity to collectively debut our doubt and air it out and give it empowerment and allow it to help us know where the gaps need to be filled in alignment spiritually. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Just knowing that this message is reaching every single person within the sound of my voice at the level that is the highest and best for each individual one and for this community as a whole. Thank you. I simply release it knowing it has been done even before I've asked. I let it be, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Vicky, for the inspiring and expanding message. Thank you so much. And now it's time for our prosperity affirmation and giving time. Your love and your support are very appreciated. It keeps our Louisville Center for Spiritual Living thriving and growing. We gratefully accept credit card or debit card. In the chat, you can see the link for online ways to pay, PayPal and Zelle. You can also mail your check to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, P.O. Box 43958, Louisville, Kentucky 40253. If you'd like to say this with me together out loud or in your hearts, our May prosperity clarity. Money comes to me as easily as being with my best friend. And I pass to Reverend Vicky for the gratitude for the giving.
Thank you for catching the prosperity clarity, Tammy. That is so fun for me. And just taking a moment with this little multiplying basket, absolutely knowing that each and every time we do affirmative prayer, each and every time we stand in honoring what is true for the structures of the center, that in spirit, it is absolutely already done, and it is for us that we're actually praying. Our prayers don't change God. We simply are opening ourselves to deepening and broadening the well of receptivity to then again more deeply and broadly be able to give. from the overflow that we have. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. Thank you to the entity of LCSL and to the principle of the multiplying of the fish and the loaves. I release it, I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is. Reverend Vicky, okay, I get it. This is the magnificent slide. Yay! So if everybody would like to say we're magnificent on the count of 3 together, how cute. Babies are the wonderful master model for self-love. So 1, 2, 3, we are magnificent. And for our closing song, it's going to be the Christian and Catholic Choir. Please enjoy Let There Be Peace on Earth.
And in closing, I invite you all to say with me our benediction. Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life's star, hath had elsewhere its setting, and cometh from afar. Not in entire forgetfulness, not in unconsciousness, but trailing clouds of glory do we come from God, who is our home. Heaven lies about us in our intimacy.